So I just got home from watching the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Obvious spoilers. I'm gonna share my thoughts real quick. Where do I even begin? There's so much to talk about. But first off, film had a lot of problems. It was not a great film. Just like the first movie had lots of problems, pacing issues. Like they jumped all over the place. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy every single minute of it. It was awesome. But I will not stand out and say it was a good movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was starting to get a little worried that I wasn't going to like it in the days leading up to it, but no, man, I loved it. It was awesome. That Bowser Bridge scene honestly should have been in the first movie, but I'm glad we got it at all. It was super cool. And when they were showing Planet Bowser and they showed the Koopa Troopas on the roller coaster go into the lava and come out as dry bones, I was like, yeah, that's kind of a funny joke, but you already basically did that joke in the first movie. But then when Dry Bowser came out of the lava, I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That little joke was a genius way to remind the audience, hey, when Koopas burn to death, they're not actually dead. Their skeletons can still be alive. So speaking of Bowser, I guess I'll talk about Bowser first. I thought Bowser was really fun. I really like how they took his character. It was like heart. It was so upsetting to see Bowser Jr. turn him back to the dark side, but there's a little bit of good in him, and it's probably a good thing that they kept him a bad guy because he's Bowser. He's a bad guy, but he has humanity in him now, so he's not that ruthless killer he was in that first movie, and I like where he is now. It doesn't really feel like Bowser Jr. developed at all. I wish there was a little bit of development there. It's kind of funny. It's basically the opposite of the games. Bowser and Bowser Jr., their dynamic was like kind of opposite as it was in the games, because in the games, Bowser, no matter what, he hates Mario and he'll beat him up and all that other stuff. But this time, Bowser Jr. in the games is usually kind of neutral. Like he's still evil. He wants to be evil like his dad, but he's more friendly with Mario. He's more friendly in general. He's not such a bad guy. But it was kind of funny that it was a bit of the opposite in the movie. They showed that Professor Egad mug like really prominently in the first scene of the film. So yeah, okay, so the post-credit scene, I was the only one left in the theater aside from like a father and his very young daughter. There were so many people in the theater, but everyone left. Like some people stayed for the first credit scene, but no one stayed through the rest of the credits except me and like a dad and his child. So I saw a Daisy. No one else really saw a Daisy. I'm pretty sure the next movie, whatever it's called, it's going to have Luigi's Mansion elements in it. Luigi's going to be a big focus. Professor Egad is going to be in it, and Daisy's going to be in it. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't see Egad in the film at all, but it's cool that they're keeping him. They're just keeping him for the next movie, and that's fine. And honestly, I was not mad at Fox being in the movie. The Star Fox inclusion was out of place, but it felt fun. It was enjoyable. I liked Fox. I liked people online are really upset about how little Rosalina's in the movie. I think it's fine, honestly. I get that people love Rosalina. I love Rosalina. Watch my Rosalina backstory explanation video. I'll talk about Rosalina in a minute. It's so hard to talk about all this stuff. The Mandibugs are not allied with the Honeybee clan. The Mandibug clan they're warring. Them and the honeybees are warring tribes. But it seems like in this universe, the Mandibug clan works for the Honey Queen, which is it's kind of sad to see. Justice for the Mandibugs. The set pieces in the film were kind of awesome. Junior makes that big ring of paint around everyone at the end, and you see some scales or spikes, and I'm like, what in the world is he making? Is he making a spiky version of Gobblegut or something like that? And then it's the ruined dragon from Mario Odyssey, the Lord of Lightning. That was insane. And I'm sure in the future I'll look back and I won't think it's that cool, because this is just in the moment, whoa, that's awesome. I don't really go to the movie theater ever, so it's an experience. It's a really cool experience actually being in a theater to watch a movie. And being there for a lot of the moments in this film, it was just like, whoa, I had such a good time. So the Ruined Dragon is pretty cool. I wish we got to see more of Planet Bowser. It was pretty cool. Okay, they kept calling it the Space Junk Galaxy, so I guess the interpretation that we're supposed to have is that Bowser Jr. found the Space Junk Galaxy and he used all of the junk together to make Planet Bowser, probably with help from... Maybe EGAD didn't help him directly, but he stole some of EGAD's tech or something to make Planet Bowser. So, yeah, it didn't look like Space Junk Galaxy. I don't remember hearing Space Junk Galaxy music at all, but that's a pretty... That makes sense. I thought it was nice that we got to see Mario and Peach have a little bit of romance going on. I'm sure there was that whole debacle last year where Nintendo Today released the character bios that were on the Mario Portal website for years, and it says that Mario and Peach are good friends, and then journalism grabbed that and said, Nintendo says Mario and Peach are just good friends. I don't really care about all of that, but it's just annoying how much people are ignoring things. They're obviously romantically interested in each other. I don't think they'll ever make them date or get married or anything like that. But they're obviously interested in each other, guys. Come on. So it was cool to see that in the movie. The movie versions of the character are really growing on me ever since the first film settled in finally for me. I've been enjoying the characters a lot more. I really like Bowser. I really like Luigi. Luigi's awesome. I'm glad that the next movie's going to be focusing on Luigi a lot, presumably, because Luigi's awesome. It was a little sad that Toad got sidelined toward the end when he stayed with Fox on the observatory. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can delay the inevitable. I'm going to have to talk about Rosalina's backstory. And I want to say, I think what they did is cool. I think what they did is really cool, and it works really well for the movie, but it is just so different from the games. And I'm kind of worried about public perception of Peach and Rosalina going forward. I was not expecting Princess Peach to be made of stardust. That is pretty wild. Peach and Rosalina being sisters is really cool. They aren't in the games. I want to repeat, they are not sisters in the games. Go watch my Rosalina backstory video. Rosalina is over 1,000 years old, and Peach is not. And neither of them are made of stardust. Rosalina is from the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't really know what else to say. I could say a lot. I could say a little. I'm just rambling at this point. It's been 8 minutes. If you guys were watching this at 2x speed, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know if I'd want to sit and listen to someone like me ramble for 10 minutes. The music was really nice. I liked some of the musical choices. I still think the music could be better, but I enjoyed it a lot. And the pop songs didn't feel as forced this time. I barely even noticed they were there. It's like they weren't there because they were integrated. So they were integrated really well. In the first movie, they kind of felt like, hey guys, look at this pop song, isn't that cool? And it was just frustrating. But this time, I didn't even really notice they were there. Good job. I'm glad we saw Donkey Kong in Brooklyn. That was cool. And Foreman Spike, we saw Spike. I was like, when we saw Spike, I was so excited. I was probably the only one in that theater that was excited. I don't think anyone in there was a pretty big Mario fan. It was mostly children. There was like a grandma and a grandpa were in there for some reason. I guess people go to the theater more. I don't really understand theater culture that much because I don't go to the movie theater, but all sorts of people were there. I saw it in daytime, 1 p.m., so there were more people than I was expecting. Like, shouldn't these kids be in school? Although it might be spring break, I'm not sure. I was kind of expecting when Peach and Rosalina touched their hands together and like made Planet Bowser all like lively and all that. I thought that Dry Bowser was going to turn back into normal Bowser, but he didn't, so that was interesting. I'm interested to see how they're going to turn Dry Bowser back into Bowser, and how big of a role Bowser is even going to have in the next movie. Because if it's, I don't know if it's going to be the Luigi's Mansion movie. I think it might be something like the Super Mario Odyssey movie, but it features a lot of Luigi's Mansion stuff. Kind of like how this movie was the Super Mario Galaxy movie, but it had elements of Super Mario World in it. It was cool how Wario wasn't in the film, even though leaks kept saying he was over and over again. I saw someone say that they got spoiled on Wario being in the movie, and I'm like, yeah, Wario is not in the movie. And then Star Fox was announced the next morning, which was pretty crazy. I can't imagine how crazy it would have been to see that Star Fox scene if Fox wasn't announced beforehand. But maybe it was a good thing that he was announced beforehand, because wow, I think I would have been really freaked out and almost mad if I saw it in the theater, because it's like, what are they doing? It was okay, so they made him very explicitly from another universe. He's not actually supposed to be there, and he got there accidentally. I think that's cool. It doesn't feel like they're setting up a Smash Bros. Thing. It just feels like maybe they're setting up a Star Fox movie, which I think would be pretty cool. They should do that, and maybe they should get maybe Universal should get DreamWorks to make it instead of Illumination. I don't know. I prefer DreamWorks a lot more over Illumination, but they did a pretty good job with this movie, kind of, aside from it being not a very good movie, but it was fun. I kind of wish Mauser... I was expecting, like, Mauser and Birdo to at least say something, but they didn't say anything. I was hoping they had, like, a speaking role, but I guess not. I think, okay, so despite the pacing and all the weird story decisions and all of that, I think the way that everything flows together is really nice. I don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. This is the boring stuff. I want to talk about the lore. Let's talk about the lore. So, Gateway Galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy is basically, it's a satellite. It's a moon in the skies of the Mushroom Kingdom, and it is the gateway to the starry skies. You get to other places using Gateway Galaxy. I think we see a similar looking planet in Rosalina's Ice World in Mario Kart 7, which maybe implies that other large planets have their own Gateway Galaxies, but Gateway Galaxy is above the Mushroom Kingdom. In the movie, it is really far away. It like takes Peach and Toad a really long time to get there. And it's this big hub for all of the galaxies around. And I'm thinking Isle Delfino and other stuff like that is probably other galaxies, just like Fossil Falls was another galaxy as well. But Gateway Galaxy alone just shows how different this interpretation of Super Mario Galaxy is to the game Super Mario Galaxy and everything like that. And I don't know how much I even need to say, because so much of it is obvious if you like watch the movie and you're familiar with the game. And I don't want to ramble on and on. I'll give myself 2 more minutes to say whatever. Once again, I wish this movie, like these movies, had more runtime and they spent more time in each area, because everything's so cool to see, but then they're only there for like a minute and then they move on to the next thing. And it's like, I wish we could have seen more of that. I really hope we're not going to get a bunch of people that are going to be watching the movie and suddenly being like, oh, Peach and Rosalina are sisters. It makes so much sense. It's like, look at the storybook, dude. It's not even remotely the same thing. Oh, okay, so I guess this will be my last thing. The first post-credit scene was Lumily in the prison. And they changed Lumily into a girl to match Mari. In the first movie, Lumily was a guy, and now she's a girl. So, yeah. I am not one of the people who think the Mario films happen in a past universe cycle in the game's universe. That just doesn't seem very likely to me. The Monty Mole wearing a hat was not an important character. He showed up for a very small period of time, like maybe 3 seconds at the Gateway Galaxy, and that was it. I don't know what the point of that was. Bye-bye.